Okay, so how much does it actually cost to build a teardrop trailer? Well, I'm going to break it down for you in 4 easy steps and a grand total right at the end. Okay, let's start out with the biggest total cost, which was the trailer. Now, we buy them custom made because they come with a VIN number and they can instantly be used on any EU roads. You could build your own, which would drastically reduce the price. Once we'd stripped the trailer down, we then covered everything with a metal protection paint. Just, it's like belt and braces. You may as well, everything's uncovered, you may as well paint it at that point. So once we'd prepared the chassis, we used 3 sheets of 25mm thick polystyrene insulation, and that insulates from underneath the teardrop. We then sandwiched that with 12mm marine ply and screwed that directly into the trailer. Okay, preparing the frame, and this is where the insides really start to come together. We used 3 sheets of 12mm birch plywood to create those beautiful shapes that create the strength, but also that cozy, warm looking interior. And we used birch ply because it has a brilliant finish and it's really strong. We then used 3 sheets of 4mm birch plywood to do the outsides, and we did that so that the sides are really strong and it gives it that lateral strength. Right, I know you're thinking about the curves. How did we do that? Well, we used 4 sheets of 5mm thick Flexi Plywood, glued and pinned, creating those beautiful curves front and back. Once we built the frame, covered it with that Flexi Plywood, we then used 7 sheets of 25mm insulation, and that was all the way up and over and on the sides, creating a complete insulated teardrop bubble. Okay, well, the insulation's complete, and if you remember from the videos, the next thing we did was wrap the insulation with another layer of plywood, and we used 4 sheets of 5mm thick Flexi Plywood up and over, just like before, and then we used 3 sheets of 3mm thick marine plywoods just for down the sides. That's all laminated to that 25mm polystyrene insulation. Okay, before we get onto the fiberglass bit, we did use 1 sheet of 12mm birch plywood and 1 sheet of 6mm birch plywood to do the internal cabinets and that amazing pull-out kitchen that you can see in this video. Okay, here's the important bit. We used 15 square meters of polyester vinyl fiberglassing. I like to buy my polyester vinyl fiberglass tinted, and I use the same tint for my Flowcoat and gel coat. Also included in that price was the 15 square meters of chop strand matting and the finishing matting, which makes it a really smooth finish, easy to sand down before you then get on with your Flowcoat and gel coat. Okay, so the fiberglassing's done, the internal's done, the kitchen's done. What's next? This video will show you the windows that we put in. And we used opening windows front and back with the fly screens and the blinds. We then used fixed laminated windows to the sides and to the door. And speaking of the door, that was probably the 3rd most expensive thing we spent out on, but we have them custom made to the user's requirements. This door was beautiful. It's a massive opening door so the customers could really experience, the surroundings that they're camping in. And quickly, I'm going to go back to that kitchen. This video here, the drawer runners, they were fantastic drawer runners. They would take 120 kilos, which means you can pull that drawer out. You can do all your cooking. You could probably even sit on it and it wouldn't bother those drawer runners. They're absolutely fantastic. The company I order them from are brilliant. Their customer service is fantastic. And I'll leave a link in the description. Okay, so this one's going to be a rough calculation for all the little bits and bobs that we use, like the silicone, the glue, the pins, the screws, the nails, that kind of thing, and the checker plate along the bottom. We have lots of this stuff in stock, so I've done a kind of rough estimate of how much I've used, and I've costed that right here. Okay, so some of you have probably added this up already in your heads, but the foundation, the chassis, came to a total of £1,645. The frame, all the structural elements, and that beautiful kitchen came to £1,383. The big spend out on the windows and doors that look absolutely fantastic. If you want to see those, they're in this video here. That came to £1,703. And the roundup of all the little extras and the bits and bobs that we used came to £172. Okay, well the total came to £4,907. And if you think it takes me about 3 weeks to build each one of these trailers and I do it in a double garage, there is no reason why you can't build your own teardrop trailer. I'm going to leave a link in the description to the plans and the templates if you want to build your own. I'd love to get some feedback on you building your own projects. If you've got any questions, just pop them in the comments below. I'll do my very best to answer your questions. We also have a Patreon page where you can sign up to one-to-one help or just a little bit of help, depending how much you need. I'd love to hear about your builds. I'd love to see how you're getting on. I love building this kind of stuff. I love going on adventures and I love sharing this stuff with you guys. So it's really nice. Thank you so much for being part of this journey and we'll see you on the next build.